Welcome to Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports, where husky middle-aged men share insight on the latest Baltimore sports news. From the bank to the yard and beyond, we're breaking down the Ravens, Orioles, Terps, and more. Baltimore's best sports podcast starts now. Good evening, everyone, or good morning if you're listening to us during your commute in the mornings. I'm your host, Jason, with Mike and John. Fellas, how's it going?
Fantastic.
I'm
Michael?
living.
You're living?
Yep.
That's good. That's better than
Still husky middle-aged man, so that's good.
Well done. Well done. Sorry we got a little late start tonight. I had a athletic banquet for my 11-year-old for her middle school this evening. So, of course, if anyone's ever been to an athletic banquet, they never finish on time, ever. 4 years in high school, Mike, and I still remember it going over half an hour, because everyone has their very long, drawn-out speeches. Never to be – I don't know how yours are in the public school system, but they're all the same, and they never end.
We don't really even have them anymore at public school, but we had them my first couple of years. But yes, everyone wants to talk. I mean, I think as I've been on the coach side and the player side, but you don't want to miss somebody. So like you find yourself talking about everybody, and like you can't just talk about one or two kids because you want all the kids to be recognized. So then you find yourself going off on a tangent about this one play this one kid had, and then you talk about this other kid and this fantastic moment in the season, and then it's like you look at your watch and it's 2 hours later and you're like, okay, we still got awards to give out. And then, the parents always, you forget the parents are like, oh, right, I got 1,700 other things to do. Let's just wrap this puppy up.
Yeah. I mean, they're never ending. I mean, what a lot of the coaches did tonight, they were like, yeah, so I usually write letters to my 8th graders, so I'm not really going to mention anything about them. And then here's the rest of our team. And then that was it for a couple of them. And then the other ones, line by line by line. And then the cross-country coach then has all the kids stand up, come up to the stage, and say you should all, no matter what sport you're in, you should be running cross-country. Like,
isn't that what my old man said? Didn't my old man tell you guys that? He always told me that. He goes, I want to play football or something. Like, you should run cross-country because it fits into your baseball. You'll be faster and more in shape for baseball or something.
I love your father, and like hanging out with him was great, but I regret the 2 years I ran cross country. I did not enjoy it. I should have stuck with soccer, which I was already better at it than I was at cross country, but we all have regrets. That's about it.
So gents, not to digress from the banquet, but it was Mother's Day this weekend. And I know that's kind of why we decided to postpone our show, because out of respect for our wives who do so much for us, we wanted to take the entire 24-hour period and give that to them. So how did it go for you guys on Mother's Day with your families?
Fantastic.
John?
We did almost, let's see, my wife had her friend come over who didn't really have any like mothers, so we hung out and I cooked them dinner, and that was it. We entertained her 2 little girls so that she could kind of get a little bit of a rest, but we had fun. How about you, Jason? I'm sure you cooked something yummy.
Always do, John. Always do. Yeah, so we did a Mother's Day brunch where we actually went out to eat, and then we took the eldest expected mother out to get to Target to get all of the baby items that they did not receive on their registry for the thing. So it turned out to be even more expensive Mother's Day than I thought it would be. But then for dinner, we did. I made the lady folk lobsters and steaks and all that stuff. So big success. How about you, Mike?
Yeah. So Saturday night we did my mother-in-law's side of the family. We went over to her house and had dinner there. We did carry out at a local sandwich place. It was really good. And then I don't cook. So then Sunday, that was yesterday, yeah. We did some carry out from the Double T Diner. Jason, you and I used to hang out there quite often there on the late night, but they still make a mean crab cake and crab balls and mac and cheese. So I did have a crab cake living up to our name this weekend. It was delicious. But the funniest thing about the whole day is I try to help out more than usual, which is not that hard. But Julie said to me this weekend, she's like, tell the kids, pretend that I'm dead and tell them to ask you everything. And I'm like, that seems a bit much to pretend that you're dead. She's like, well, if I say pretend that I'm traveling, they're still going to find a way to call me and get a hold of me. So just tell them pretend I'm dead. So all day we said, just pretend mommy's dead. Ask daddy what you need. He'll clean up. I can't tell you the number of times the kids just leave stuff around the house, like dirty napkins on the kitchen table. And I was like, hey guys, you got dirty napkins on the kitchen table. And they're like, yeah, we're going to use them later. Like, what are you going to do with that dirty napkin later? Is someone else going to use it? Or are you going to leave it there in case your mouth gets dirty later? I don't understand what's happening. So I felt my wife's pain for a few minutes. She was cracking up. She was just like, this is my life. Welcome to it.
Wow. I feel like the reusing of the napkin is like the Landscraner way of things, John. Like the frugality coming from your father passed down to you, that you guys, everyone uses a napkin 6 times and at least 2 different people. I mean, am I off on this? Or?
Not really. Not too far off. Or don't even use a napkin. You have a T-shirt and a wash machine, so just use your T-shirt and put some spray and wash on it, and then put it in the wash machine. You're still pretty good at that point. But yeah, reusing the napkins is a Landscraner. Not at my house. Like if you guys come to my house, you'll each get your own napkin, and I'll open the trash can for you, and you can throw it away. But I still think at my parents' house, I think they may still reuse them. But, it is what it is. When you're a Lutheran school teacher and you're barely making above minimum wage, you got to do what you got to do.
No, I hear you. Yes. Oh, by the way, for everyone out there, I do have I have crickets and toads in the background as I am outside here in Florida. So I will let them serenade you all in the background. So it's a good time.
It's like when the kids used to go to bed when they were little and you put on like that soundscapes thing, like that app where you just find the different noise. It's like, oh, rainfall. Oh, Florida backyard. It's like one of those ambient sounds.
Dude, we have like a couple streets over, there's peacocks. And those things wake up, they're like roosters. They wake up at like 4 a.m. They're like, ah. Like, what the hell is that? I'm like, I didn't know a bird could make that sound.
Are there dinosaurs in Florida?
Yeah. I mean, you've seen them. I mean, they're about 10, 11, 12 feet. They're in every body of water. They go by alligators. Sometimes they go by crocodiles. We got those too. Like we're Australia. I mean, that's what we are. We really are. There's like 50 different things every day that could kill you just by walking outside. It's a good time, including the people, by the way.
The drivers. They're worse. I'm more scared of the drivers in this state than the alligators. That's for sure.
It's a good time.
The closest I've ever been to Australia is the Outback Steakhouse there at Bel Air.
The Bloomin' Onion, baby. The Bloomin' Onion is the greatest gift known to man.
Nice. Well, I guess we should get started here. I did want to kick this off here today. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Chris Berman signed a contract extension with ESPN today that will take him through 2029 and which will also take him through the 50th anniversary of ESPN being established. So he's been there from day one, essentially. Like once they got started, they brought him in I want to say it was like a few weeks to a month, and then he's been there ever since. And the reason I wanted to bring it up, he's one of the inspirations to why I went to school for broadcasting, why I wanted to get involved in journalism and all of this stuff, just because he seems like a fun fan that gets to do what he loves to do every single day. And if you listen to guys over the years, Mike, that's kind of how it all starts, right? We're fans first, and then we get to do it professionally. And very jealous that this man has got to do it this long professionally.
Yeah, and I just remember, the back calls and that kind of stuff. Sports Center, was such a different animal than it is today. It was like everything. and they replay it like every hour from like 7 a.m. to like 11 a.m. in the morning. And if you missed it the first time, you always had a chance to watch it again. It was really awesome. And like Stuart Scott and those guys, like Kenny Mayne, but Chris Berman again being like one of the godfathers of them all. You know, you think ESPN, you think Chris Berman. The Baseball Tonight stuff, you know, it's a lot of that. The Schwam, right? He did the NFL predictions. It's like all that is kind of part of what ESPN is all about, and he kind of it just embodies that, which is kind of cool. So neat of ESPN to do that. I don't know how good he is at it anymore. I think he's still he's a little bit of maybe of a caricature of what he was before, but I think it's good for him and good for ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, from what I read too, so ESPN has the rights to the Super Bowl in 2027, and he is going to be a part of that broadcast. So I don't know I think he's 70 now ish or something like that. So like he's already getting to that point where I think at the end of this contract that'll be it. But again, for me, John, at least he's been a big inspiration, just somebody to follow. I mean, along with a lot of the local guys. I mean, being here or being from Baltimore, being able to listen to like Chuck Thompson over the years and different guys like that, like to me, I've been spoiled.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Berman. When you think of ESPN, it's him and Stuart Scott. Like those guys were, you know, who we watched and things, you know, in the 90s and in the early mid 2000s. Those two guys were basically the face of ESPN. And, you know, like Mike said, the back, you know, and the home run derby and things like that are, you know, what I really, really like.
Stay focused, John.
Really,
stay focused.
I don't know. Mike just sent me a text.
I think John.
You're sitting over there. You're sitting over there tapping.
I'm not tapping anything. No, I'm not tapping anything.
Something was tapping.
I don't know. I think it was one of the frogs, or maybe it was the gator chomp outside your door, Jason.
Yeah, just in case you guys are wondering out there what we keep complaining about, Mike and I here. John has a lot of nervous energy, a lot of like stored up energy. I don't think, does your wife not let you speak during the day? Like, are you in a closet most of the day? Like you just got to sit there.
Yeah.
And now you're out.
I sit in an office, or I sit this far, or I sit about 2.5 feet away from somebody in a test drive who I don't know, with their kids coughing in the back seat. And, you know, I don't know. I wasn't tapping on anything. I was just sitting.
So you don't have the space to move your arms and things during the day. So you're like, flailing a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I have some shoulder problems and some things like that. I think I may also have like a slight case of like Tourette's. I got an idea for you.
You can either fold your hands, like ready hands, like fold your hands, or you can put your hands up like this, like you're in downtown, like Baltimore. Okay. So you can go like this and like hands up. Okay. There you go. Those are your two.
Now I believe you.
Yeah. Well done. Okay. So we digress again, going off on these tangents. Good times.
Yeah, but Chris Berman, though, I mean, he was ESPN. Like I said, him and Stuart Scott were the faces that I think really made ESPN into the worldwide global brand that it is, you know, today. And we've noticed some things have gone down compared to what it used to be, but still, I mean, you need your sports fix. That's the place to go.
For sure. And to me, one of the reasons why I decided to get into all of this. So good for him. I think it's pretty cool. I guess
there a dog barking now?
There is.
Oh my gosh. We got to work on that studio.
It's a good time, man. Let me tell you.
This is like a wildlife sanctuary all of a sudden. This has become a different kind of show.
It's coming. Woosa. Everybody calm down. All right, here we go.
Braba.
Good job, Fido. Keep it down over there. Okay, so Orioles. Not bad, I guess. Last we talked, went into Anaheim and took 2 of 3. Fully was hoping for a sweep. Actually predicted it to Mike in our phone conversation the other day, but 2 out of 3. I mean, if we have to, I'll take it. It's definitely a much lesser team out there, Mike, than we're used to. But they did Orioles did a lot of good things. I think they As you pointed out, they manufactured runs. Small ball wise, they played big boy ball. They hit with runners in scoring position. They also failed to hit with runners in scoring position on Saturday night. But again, to me, the biggest key to them is the consistency. Hope they can string a couple of these together.
Yeah, absolutely. I was on one of the Facebook pages of like Orioles fanatics, and I saw a pretty cool post that I thought I'd bring up, and it was actually honoring Maverick Hanley and what he did in the game the other day. As someone, he says, but my hero of the day is number 98 Maverick Hanley. In the second week ever in the majors, caught a great game with some good glove work to turn a few pitches into strikes. Got his first MLB RBI and laid down a sacrifice bunt that scored a run too. That's what I call the right team spirit. So I think, that kind of baseball where you're kind of sacrificing the home run to get runners over and that kind of stuff, seeing some of that was more encouraging than the fact that we actually won. And then additionally, obviously seeing some good starting pitching with, Sagano and Eflin coming back was really nice, a nice sight considering the tough outings we've had, day in, day out from our starting pitching staff. So if the starters can give 6-7 innings of 3 runs or less, it makes it a lot easier. And obviously the offense needs to score more than 4 runs a game. That would help.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, John, we've been talking about this for months now, the inconsistency on the starting pitching side. But like Mike said, Sagano and Eflin really giving good performances. Now, those are your 1 and 2 now going forward here. We don't know what's going on with Grayson. Don't know if they'll bring anybody else in, Bradish down the road. Like, all of these are huge question marks. But that on top of timely hitting seems to be what they were lacking going into that series.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I mean, you just saw Sagano hitting his spots. And my question is, again, I think we talked about this kind of in spring training, is what kind of pitcher are we going to get out of Sagano? Because, major league hitters are major league hitters for a reason. They're going to figure out what your stuff is and what you can do. And so my fear is that, Sagano is going to be great going around one time, but then can he adjust to the adjustments of the major league hitters to then still be as effective as he's being right now. But as of right now, I'm very, very happy with that. And then getting Eflin back should also, maybe relegate Morton to the bullpen where I think he probably should be for the time being, and being our long guy, and just kind of maybe helping out a little bit back on that end. But overall, I mean, like I said, if we can get 3 runs a game and keep them going 6-7 innings, and then be able to get to Bautista at the end, we're going to win, I think, more games than we're going to lose at that point.
Yeah, and I also think that what happened over the weekend, Tyler O'Neill came back, which might not seem like a big move since he was scuffling a little bit. But, I mean, he was part of I guess it was Sunday, an intentional walk to load the bases for Ryan Mountcastle because it's a lefty on the mound. And he usually historically hits lefties a lot better than the majority of the league. So just having him in there hopefully brings continuity back to that lineup like we've been talking about again for months, about having the same guys in the lineup. It's what you started the season with. And then hopefully right after that, you're going to have Urias coming back. Then you're going to have Westberg. And then after that, hopefully Cowser. And then you're back to what you were supposed to have at the beginning of the year. Mike, I don't know at this point I'm always optimistic when things start to heat up in like weather-wise and the bats start to get hot. And I'm hoping that along with continuity will play a big role for this team.
Yeah, and obviously we talked about this last time, but also the schedule is favorable here in the next few weeks. So what a great time maybe to get a little run together. I mean, again, to me, the whole saying is momentum is only as good as your next day's starting pitcher. And when you can rely on 3 of your 5 guys at least to give you a good outing, you're going to see the tables start to turn a little bit in your favor. I really think we were hopeful that one of our 5 guys every time through would give us something reasonable over the last few weeks. Maybe I'm being a little sarcastic, but not really. I feel like that's kind of how I felt going into the game. I feel like when Eflin's on the mound and Sagano's on the mound, we have a good chance to win those games. And if we feel that as outsiders, you have to imagine that the players in some way understand when they have their horses on the mound and when they don't. So I think it's definitely some positive momentum that can maybe snowball in a good way. And I know we keep talking about we can't depend on these guys later in the year, but I think eventually we get Bradish back and some of those, and then you start to see, or maybe we make a trade or something like that, and then we can maybe get 3 or 4 guys go, and that's when things start to head the right direction.
Well, also the bulk pitching could also play a big factor again, because Trevor Rogers is starting to throw again. Like, he's actually, I think, making a start here shortly, which means he's right around the corner. Chase McDermott, he's heating up again. So you have all these guys that were in the plans at some point during the season. Now, you start the year off with opening day. I mean, if you're a baseball fan, if you're knowledgeable about baseball, you know that it's going to take a lot more than just the initial opening day roster that's going to be on your team. You have all these guys, especially pitchers, that are going to play an integral part all season long. And those guys, I mean, are starting, and we forget about trades, just within the organization itself, John, these guys are starting to heal up and hopefully ready to ramp things up.
Exactly. And I think part of our thing we were talking about, in April, is that we're going to start getting longer outings out of, our top guys, so that the bullpen isn't working every day. That maybe you have to, go 2-3 deep in the bullpen on a regular basis, so that, once we get the Graysons back, once we get, if, McDermott or whoever else comes up and starts taking some of these spots, and maybe, they go 5 innings, 6 innings, that bullpen will be fresh and rested. Because I think that's going to be kind of our big thing is okay. And we talked about this, I know, probably end of March. What do we do to get to Bautista? How are we going to get from, our starters to Bautista? And if you only got to fill 1 inning, 2 innings, a lot better than having to fill 4 or 5 like we started off April doing.
Absolutely. And it's the longer that some of these guys can come in, anything they can give you at all as starters specifically takes everything off of the bullpen. But the bullpen should be getting help too. There's again, I was a big advocate of Chase McDermott eventually going into the bullpen. So, I mean, if right now, I know Cano's kind of scuffling a little bit, but he started the season off 10 scoreless innings, something crazy. And so he's scuffled a little bit, but anything we can do within there, Kittenridge, it should be back here within the next couple of weeks too. So, I mean, there is hope here, but like the great pub owner in Ted Lasso, May, says, it's the hope that kills you. So I don't know, Mike. I don't know.
So I have a question for you guys. How on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being very and 1 being not at all, how concerned are you about Adley Rutschman and his lack of production? Because I know I texted you, Jason, this weekend. I can't remember. It was the second game of the series, I believe, where we lost in Anaheim. And I was like, there's Adley with runners in scoring position, multiple opportunities, and he can't get the job done. And actually, Cedric had an issue too with runners in scoring position that game. But those are the guys that you need to produce in those situations. And it was multiple opportunities that were squandered. And to me, that was one of the main things that cost us that game.
So if it was anybody else, if it was somebody that didn't have the track record, if it was Jackson Holiday, if it was somebody like this, I'd be very concerned. I'm not, because of the track record over the last few years, the All-Star game appearances, but also more importantly, if you look at his how many barrels he's barreling up, how hard he's hitting the ball, different things. I mean, they're showing signs of pointing up. And he's also been very unlucky. They talked about it today on Locked On Orioles, how he's been robbed so many times. He was robbed of a home run yesterday. So it's and then he got that triple that Tyler Ward lost in the sun. It's like somebody the gods are trying to make it a little even here in baseball. But I am not all that concerned on a 1 to 10, 10 being the most concerned or least concerned.
10 is very concerned.
I am currently a 4.
Should he have had a home run on that pitch?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Yes.
Well, and like I mentioned last time, I think we're going to find out if Adley's just going to be another Jason Varitek type player or if he's going to be a much higher. I think he's probably I'm on the 4, 5, 6 kind of in the middle. We're going to have to just kind of wait and see. You guys got to also think about this too. As a switch hitter, you're going up there having to prep twice as much as the other guys who are only hitting one side. And then he's also having to do all the prep work that goes into catching, going into being prepared for the game as the defensive leader, as the pitch caller, as everything else in there. So, there's that kind of thing too. But I think 4 or 5, maybe a 6, somewhere in that ballpark. But I think he'll figure it out as the season goes on. But like we talked about, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Is it an issue or are they just not that good? Which one is it?
And Mike, what about you? What is your ranking there?
I'm probably a 6. I don't know. My biggest thing is I thought coming out of, the draft originally when we drafted him, like his defensive skill set was supposed to be astonishing. And to me, it's good. But like, I don't think he frames pitches particularly well. Like, I mean, I don't think, I'm watching Maverick Hanley the other day, and I feel like he does a better job of framing pitches than Adley does in a small sample size, obviously. And it's about feel. Like some of that stuff to me is about feel. I don't think he has a beautiful feel for framing pitches. His arm is solid, but it's not spectacular. I mean, I thought we would have somebody who would be throwing out base runners, like just maybe putting some fear in the I don't think that runners are afraid to run on Adley Rutschman. I think that he can throw a guy out now and then, but I thought he was built up, I guess, to be just this man, and I just don't think he is exactly what he was built up to be. And yes, I have a little bit of concern about the at-bat. Jason, you made me feel a little bit better talking about the hard hit balls and the barrels and things like that, so maybe that evens it out. But does it even it out to 300 or does it even out to 250? You know what I'm saying, where he ends up? And to me, anyway, he's an on-base percentage guy. We need him up closer to 400 instead of closer to 300 getting on base.
Well, it also depends. Like, are you getting 250 and 28, 29 home runs, or are you getting 300 with 20 home runs? But like to me, 250, 300, depending on where you're batting in the lineup, it also is more. It comes back to, again, my concern with the team in general. It's like hitting with runners in scoring position. When are these averages the highest? Like, you want your guys to have the highest batting average when guys are on base. Like, you want timely hitting. And again, this goes back to before the season started. You want guys on your team that are hard to get out. They give you good at bats. And Adley Rutschman 2 years ago, the last few years, is a tough out. And I fully confident he can get back to that. I mean, he's already walked a lot more this year than he did last year. My
favorite thing about Adley is he uses the whole field to hit. Right. And I wish more of our players would do that. I saw Mountcastle go the other way on a base hit later in the game, in the third game of the series. And that I was like, this is what I've been looking for. You could see them try to pull the ball so often with 2 strikes when you can just, if there was a pitch on the outside corner, stop trying to yank it. Just hit it the opposite way. And I love that little bit of a change of approach for the Mountcastle. And when Mountcastle starts using the whole field, like he starts hitting doubles and bombs. So I think a little bit of adjustment for these guys. They've now had a month in the season. Hopefully that helps out. Maybe they can change their approach a little bit. Hearing the hitting coach, I guess, came out and talked a little bit about he still believes firmly in their approach. Is it Cody Ashe or he still believes firmly in the approach that they've taken. A little bit of concern about that. Like, I think whenever something's not going well, you should definitely take a look in the mirror and say, hey, are we doing all the things we need to? Turning over all the shells we need to. But like you said, Jason, it kind of worries me. That's the Mike Elias trickle down, right? Of, hey, we know how to do it. There's no other way to do it. We know how to do it. So I hope that's not seeping down from the general manager into the coaching staff.
Well, also, here's something no one's talking about, or at least from what I've heard, and maybe I missed it, but Hyde is not, like, if you go down how firings in baseball really should go for teams that are supposed to be achieving at a higher level, Brandon Hyde's not the first on the chopping block. Why is Cody Ashe getting a free pass here? Like, if your team can't do these fundamental things with the bat, bring someone else in that can. Because that man, I got nothing against him, but he should not be getting a free pass at all.
No, I'm thinking the same thing. I was reading about that too. I read that was it was on ESPN or it was on the MLB app or something where he's like, "We're doing good." Blah blah blah. I'm like, what game are you watching? Because you're not watching what I'm watching. You're not getting the bat on the ball when runners are in scoring position to move them along or to score runs. I mean, they're what 1 for 14 or something Saturday and Sunday, I think, with runners in scoring position. And I texted you guys this, a lot of that falls on the coaching staff and how they're approaching. You're professional coaches for a reason. You're supposed to be the best of the best in teaching and helping players achieve what they need to achieve. And if they're not achieving that, well, they're either A, not listening to you, or B, you're not as good at your job as you think. And we bring that up every time, Jason. Who's the smartest guy in the room? They think they are, and they may not be.
Well, and then think about this. This isn't the Orioles from the 90s that had 30-plus-year-old multiple all-star guys, guys that should be in the Hall of Fame and are in the Hall of Fame. Like Harold Baines comes to mind, professional hitters, guys like this that are 30-plus and might be struggling. And like hitting coaches, they'll be like, yeah, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Like, you know what you're doing. These are kids. They're in their 21, 22, 23. Yeah, you have a couple older ones, but like they need to be like, again, it comes back to like really with some of these guys, they just need a bats. They need more experience in the majors, Mike. Like we can sit here and say, oh, they should have done this and they should have done that. But until they get actual major league at bats.
Well, I mean, I can't disagree with you, Jason. I'm just looking too at Cody Ashley and his coaching career. It's not like he is a proven, career lifer, minor league guy, anything like that. I mean, he literally in 2021 he was a hitting coach for Single A in the Phillies, upper level minor league coach in 2022 with the Orioles, offensive strategy coach in 23-24 with the Orioles, and this year is his debut as hitting coach for the Orioles. So it's not like this guy should have a long leash, in my opinion, right? Maybe he's just not sending the message correctly, or maybe there's something in his message not being received correctly. He might have the right message. There could be a lot of different issues there. But yes, I have a feeling his name might come up in some conversations between maybe Brandon Hyde and Mike Elias behind closed doors when they're talking about what might need to change in the upcoming weeks.
John?
Well, he's only 34. He's not much older than these guys that he's trying to help hit and things. That's where sometimes when you bring in a guy who's been around the block, like, that's why the Dodgers brought in Mark McGwire, was the guy's been around the block. He knows and has seen a lot. Where Ashley I don't think he's seen enough. Like, he's just hasn't been out there to see what needs to be done. And I look, Jackson was listening to his dad, Matt, and he made that adjustment where he took the bat up, and all of a sudden, boom, he's excellent. And Matt's a very good, from what I understand, is his dad, Matt Holliday, is a very good coach at Oklahoma State, and has been a very good instructor kind of the whole time. So, is it time we get an old guy, bring him in and see what he can do?
I knew the Matt Holliday thing was going to come up. That's going to be the popular thing. I don't know about all that nonsense, but
I'm not saying bring him in, but I'm saying bring somebody similar to him into the clubhouse.
I'm not saying brought up by you. I'm saying, like, I've already started hearing rumblings of it, and I think it's a bad idea.
Jason, I think now might be a good time. Is it okay if I do my new little segment?
You just jumped right in front of my segment.
Oh, is that bad? Do you want to go first?
No, you can go first, Mike. Anything for you, buddy.
I just thought I have a question in here. I think that's a perfect segue.
Let's do it. Oh, God.
So this segment's called Best Fit. And I'm going to ask you a variety of questions, and you guys are going to come up with what you think will be the best fit for the particular answer. Okay, so the first question, here's the example question. All right. So let's say the O's end up firing Brandon Hyde as manager just because they need a fresh change or a fresh voice in the clubhouse. Which manager would be the one that would be the best fit for you to take the Orioles, get them back in contention, and over the hump to World Series contention?
John,
John. Yeah, John, you're up.
Well, I was trying to figure this out. Like, who was? Are we talking about somebody who's available to sign, or just somebody who would be? I think would be good for the whole clubhouse and for the whole thing.
Well, if they're coaching another team, they probably can't help us. So, I mean, you could tell us the name just because it might give us an idea, but maybe come up with somebody also who could actually be the manager.
Yeah, it's got to be like an old guy, like a Jimmy Leland type. I think somebody kind of old school who smokes cigarettes in the tunnel because it's illegal to smoke it actually inside his office. So I think somebody like that, like a Jimmy Leland, a Dusty Baker, a Ron Washington, somebody kind of like that, an old school guy. I think for these young kids would be good. I think that would really help us. I don't think Buck would be good. I don't think Buck would be good with these guys. But I think like a Jim Leland, a Ron Washington, a Bruce Bochy. Bruce Bochy would be a guy who'd come to mind who would be very, very good. He has the experience with when Buster Posey. But then that's my other guy. I think Buster Posey would be a great manager.
Well, he's a general manager right now.
I understand, but I think Buster Posey would be a very good manager. Or a Yadi Molina. Yadi Molina would probably be pretty good.
I'm going to go just on availability itself. I don't think it'll ever happen, but Dusty Baker. I think Dusty, he's won everywhere he's gone. And he finally got over the hump. Wins with mainly, he's more of a veteran first type guy, which we don't have a lot of. But yeah, I would have loved to say Buck. I really would, but he's not really he won't mesh with these general managers. They're like, he's like the anti-analytical. So I don't know. What about you, Mike? What did you have in mind?
I really think they should just ride it out with Brandon Hyde for now, but somebody's going to say Buck Britton probably, just because he knows those guys in and out. I have a little bit of concern just because he's been in the system and he's been preaching the same message that they're probably getting right here with Brandon Hyde in the majors. So if I were to pick somebody maybe outside the organization, I'm thinking like maybe a former major league catcher like a David Ross or a Joe Girardi, like somebody like that who can maybe, bring a new mentality, maybe a toughness to the team. I'm not super familiar with their managerial styles, but to me, like that kind of character could bring something different to the table that maybe could inspire this group of young guys.
Yeah.
So the next question I have in this little segment about best fit is the following. Let's say NFL schedule release. I'm excited about that. Is Wednesday, and we'll talk about that probably on our Wednesday night podcast. But I don't know this, obviously, and nobody knows, but there's been some leaks here and there. Let's say the Ravens get a Christmas night game or a Christmas Eve game, whatever that game looks like on the schedule. What would be the best fit for an opponent for them to play at Christmas? And they've been away, I believe, right, the past 2 Christmases. So let's say they get a home game. Who should they host? Jason, we'll start with you this time.
I really think that if the Ravens have to play on Christmas again, there might be a riot. Like, I'm pretty sure that I don't see that happening. I know that the Ravens wrote the league a few years ago. Like, they told them that they love playing, like they like the idea of the Thanksgiving Day games, but not as much the Christmas games. But for the sake of your question, I'm just looking at making sure I have all the right opponents. Some interesting things here.
Do you want me to go through the home opponents, or do you want to just give me yours?
I think I got them here. Yeah, no, I got them here.
Okay.
I would go with tell me if I'm right. So they play the Rams at home, the Lions at home, the Bears, Texans, Jets, Patriots, Steelers, Browns, Bengals, right?
Correct.
Okay. I would say at home, probably the Steelers. Maybe the Lions, but probably the Steelers.
John?
Yeah, that's the way I was going. I was gonna say that the Steelers or the Lions. I think those are two very strong teams. I mean, Steelers don't have a quarterback at the moment, but the Lions are a very strong team, and I think it'll be a very, very good Christmas game. If we're playing home, if we're playing away, I like to see a thing like a game like in Minnesota, indoors, letting us run around and letting Lamar light the whole thing on fire.
Well, for me, I think the Lions would be a fantastic opponent on Christmas. I mean, think about that matchup. How the NFL would love Lamar Jackson versus that Lions, offense. I think that would be a fantastic matchup. If it is away, I don't think they're going to do away, but if it was, how about Buffalo in a rematch of the playoffs? Maybe in Buffalo in the snow, Christmas. Can you guys imagine like huddling around the fire, swapping Christmas stories and presents and listening to jingle bells and watching the Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson heave the football back? Well, they'll probably run it because there's going to be so much snow on the ground.
I mean, I got one better, I think. I mean, what about Kansas City? If it's away, they play Kansas City in Kansas City on Christmas. So
that would be
I'm not looking forward to any of this. I'm really not. Gosh.
All right, I got two more. I will make them quicker because I don't want to take too long with this best fit segment. But here's the one that really inspired me with this segment. All right, for best fit. What would be a veteran everyday player that the Orioles could add that is not on a current top team? So they wouldn't the Yankees aren't going to get rid of one of their best players. The Dodgers aren't going to get rid of one of their best players that could turn the O season around. And I said everyday player, so we're not talking pitchers. John, do you want to start that one?
Yeah, two guys came instantly to mind, in kind of the Carlos Beltran mold. One would be Mike Trout from the Los Angeles Angels, and then Andrew McCutchen. I think Andrew McCutchen would bring in a good, solid veteran leadership. He's older, but he still plays decent defense, has decent speed, and I think one of those two guys, putting them in a corner outfield slot, opposite of Cowser and Mullins, would really, really, really help this team. Put O'Hearn and O'Neill at DH or first base in the off days for Mountcastle. Jason, what do you think?
Well, so I like the Trout idea. I do, and I was telling Mike this the other day. I think the Orioles were actually planning on trading for Mike Trout last year, but he got hurt right before the trade deadline last year, and it kind of spoiled everyone's plans. I don't know as far as if that's a good move for them. So the guy I had in mind, Mike, is on probably the hottest team in baseball right now. So I'm not so sure if that's going to work at the moment. But I was thinking Nolan Arenado in St. Louis. But they're only a game back. And I mean, they're 9-1. They've won nine games in a row. So depending on how that goes, I mean, to me, that'd be the guy, I think.
I mean, John stole my thunder with Mike Trout. That's the guy, and that's the guy we had a conversation about. But think about what Mike Trout could do for this team. Number one, he's a star caliber talent that's going to put fans in the stands and at least give us some hope just from his legacy, what he has done in the past. Now, obviously, there's some injury concern. He's had knee injuries the last 2 seasons. He's had a wrist injury. He misses games, it seems like, almost every year. He's in his 30s now. He's not exactly a center fielder anymore. He's probably more of a corner outfielder. But he shores up a corner, which has been an issue all season long, obviously, with Cowser being out. But could you imagine maybe you have to trade like a Kjerstad or something like that, but you have Cowser, Trout, and Mullins in your outfield. You have to feel a lot better about your outfield defense. You get your number 3 bat, who's going to bat 300. He might not hit as many home runs as he has in the past, but he'll hit you some doubles. That tough at bat you were talking about, Jason. he'll give you that tough at bat, and then everyone else can loosen up in the lineup around him. That is exactly the caliber of player that we're looking for. His contract value is like $37 million. I think he had a 12-year deal ish a year. That's not horrible considering where we are in baseball today with contracts. So I think it's not even out of the realm of possibility if it's something that the Orioles were interested in doing.
Well, and think about this, Mike. This is what kind of I thought Trout would be great is in Anaheim. It's 347 down the right field or down the left field line. At Camden Yards, it's 333. So for a right-handed hitter like Trout, that may also help the home run numbers a little bit for him too, give him get a little more pop out of the bat. But I could see them. I mean, Angels got to do something. I mean, they haven't been competitive for how long?
Yeah, I mean, Jason, he has 6.5 years left on his deal. What would the Orioles have to give up to get a player that is a contract that's pretty solid? Now the Angels had some foresight in signing that deal for 6.5 years left in the contract. What do you have to give up to get somebody like that?
Well, first of all, the Angels have to eat a good portion of that contract as far as financials go. And at the point he's at right now, I don't think it should and will cost what everybody like. It depends when he's traded. If it's during the year, like a trade deadline, it might cost more than he's really worth. But Mayo and a pitcher, could be Povich, could be McDermott. And to me, I mean, I would do it. But the bigger question is, I don't know if you make that move. You can't make that move with anyone on your current roster because with his injury history, if he can't be in the lineup, then you're out a guy that you just gave up to get him. So I wouldn't. I mean, I'm okay if they get an upgrade from Mayo and an outfielder seems to make sense. I still haven't ruled out Luis Robert and a lower end of the other two guys because of his experience. But I think as soon as you put him on a winning team and a change of culture, I think you notice a huge change in his average and his approach and all of that as well.
But we're putting him on the Orioles, not a winning. We're putting him on the Orioles.
Yeah, winning organization, though. I mean, the White Sox haven't won since
2006.
Goodness, yeah.
It's definitely a step up from the White Sox.
We haven't won since '83, so.
No, I'm not talking about the World Series, John. I'm just talking about like the direction the franchise is going there, Hoss. Calm down.
All right, one more. Okay, last one. I promise.
One
Best
more game.
fit. This could be, John, you'll like this one because I'm not putting any parameters on whether or not this player is available. So just anyone you would like.
He doesn't even have to be alive, John. He could be dead.
Exactly. All right. You already picked Jim Leland. So
those are your best friends, John.
All right. NFL player, regardless of status, free agency, sign with a team, that plays like a Raven and would be like sick in purple and black, like an ideal fit for the Baltimore Ravens. I think, Jason, it's your turn. Yeah.
Lawrence frickin' Taylor. If I have to choose a guy that is not in the league, okay, Lawrence frickin' Taylor. All right.
Do you have somebody who's currently in the league that you would pick?
Do. I was actually thinking about this earlier. I would say, oh God, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. What's wrong with me?
Where does he play?
With the Dallas D end.
Parsons?
Parsons. Yeah, I kept wanting to say Pearson. Yes, Michael Parsons would be my pick.
Isn't it Micah?
All right, John.
Yes, Micah Parsons.
Micah, okay. Micah. I was kind of thinking the same thing as you, Jason, but like a Sean Taylor. Ooh. I would have loved to have seen Sean Taylor with Ed Reed back there. Oh, man, nobody's going over the middle. Nobody is going over the middle. Nobody's doing anything. They're going to try to run the football because every time that ball's in the air, somebody's going to get blown up or the ball's going to get picked off.
Yeah.
All right, so give me somebody today. Give me somebody in today's NFL.
I I was really kind of I was thinking this, and this is hard. This is terrible to say, but I think a guy like a TJ Watt would fit right in that defense, fit in the play like a Raven. TJ Watt or Myles Garrett, one of the two. I mean, I think either one of those guys, the way they play and things, would fit right in our locker room and be good.
Well, I've got 3 guys, but I'm going to pick my favorite first. Max Crosby, to me, would play like a Raven. He had just relentless motor, just toughness, grit, the personality to go along with it, just the attitude. To me, like he screams Baltimore Raven. And another underrated guy that I think's a pretty like solid, like just an energy guy. The Browns have that linebacker, Owasu Kuramoa. I think it's Jeremiah, maybe. I think he would be a fantastic Raven. I think he just moves and flies around like crazy. He reminds me of the middle linebackers that played with Ray Lewis back in the day. Sharper, Bulware, Lewis, that kind of linebacking core. And then the last guy is an offensive guy, Penei Sewell from the Lions. He just is a road grader. Love me some road graders for the Baltimore Ravens, along the lines of John Ogden and those guys from the past. And he's the guy. If I had to pick someone on the offensive side of the ball, that would be play like a Raven.
I think a Gronk. I think a Gronk would have been a good Raven.
Ugh.
I think a guy like that would have been good in purple.
I don't know.
Are you bringing that up because of the articles that have been out?
No,
social
I was just. We all picked defensive players, and I was like trying to think of like an offensive player, and it's just kind of funny how all Ravens fans think about it as like defense.
No. Well, I have an offensive player, but again, it's the 2 guys, my honorable mention guys, but they're not active. Ronnie Lott and Marcus Allen. Those would be, I think Marcus Allen as a running back reminds me a lot of like Jamal Lewis, but more finesse. But those are the 2 guys I think remind me of Ravens players.
Nice.
Earl,
what did you guys think?
Campbell.
Oh,
Earl Campbell's a good one.
Yeah.
You like best fit?
I do. Best fit's a good one. Well done, Mike.
All right. There we go.
Did you think of that all by your lonesome, or did ChatGPT help you out with that?
Well, I was trying to put my pants on again today, and I keep realizing that the sizing just keeps changing. And I like 36, 38. I'm like, I don't know which one's the best fit. I really do this whole weight cycling thing where I put a lot of weight on in the winter. I'm kind of like a bear. I eat a lot of food. I don't do a lot of exercise. And then the summer, I'm like, oh, gosh, I got to get outside and move, but I can't move because I'm too big. And then the 36 fits and the 38 fits in the wintertime. It's just the best fit.
Well done, Mike. Well done. Always fitting the dad bods in there. I appreciate that. All right. You guys ready for a new fun game that I came up with?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
I'm a little scared.
All right. So this game is called Who Am I? Okay. And the way this is you 2 are going to play a trivia game against each other. And you earn points, obviously, if you get the question right. But you get the question right in a certain tier, you get more points. For instance, I give you the first clue. If you guys get it right on the first clue, and you raise your hand, so I choose who goes first. If you get it right on the first clue, you get 5 points. Second clue, 4 points. Third clue, because you'll get more information, blah, blah, blah. So this is round 1 of 2, maybe round 3, depending on how long this takes. Once we get to round 2, you can buy more clues if you need more clues with your points. And you can finish with negative points because, John, and I don't know why I'm picking on you, but just because I saw you first, if you guess the first clue wrong, you will go -3 points. And then if you get the next one wrong, it's -2 points. And then at some point, I'm kind of making this up as I go along to like not eliminate everyone right away. But all right, so these 2 categories are Ravens and Orioles. So the first category is Ravens. Okay, so raise your hand if you want to guess after the first clue. Okay, a defensive end for the Ravens from 2006 to 2009. No, John, it's not Justin Upton. Don't guess Justin Upton.
Why would I guess?
All right,
Nope,
there is a
no
timer
dice.
on this one. No.
No dice. No.
Okay, so
I need more.
The 5-pointer's gone. So second clue. This one's for 4 points. If you get it wrong, it's -2. Okay. Led the team in sacks in 2006 with 13 sacks. His first year as a Raven.
Can we ask a follow-up question?
Nope, you're not allowed to ask any questions.
Okay.
I think I know who it is, but I'm scared. I think I know who it is, but I'm scared.
It's only
so I'm gonna
-2.
let you. Okay. You just go again.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, none. So this one is for 3 points. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler and a 1-time All-Pro.
I can't think of his name.
I'll throw a little extra special one in here. None of those were with the Ravens.
I know who they were with, but I can't think of the guy's name.
8, 7, 6, 5. Do.
Were they? I can't ask a question.
Nope.
I think I know what team they were with, but I can't remember the guy's name.
All right, time's up. All right, for that one. So that was 5 points, 4 points, 3 points. So this one is for 2 points. And remember, you got to raise your hand to answer. And whoever raises first one, put your hand down. Remember, you either put your hands up like you're in inner city Baltimore, or you put them down like ready hands. Okay. All right, Mike and John. The team he used to play for was the Denver Broncos.
Elvis.
Hey, you can say it. My hand was up first.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You were penalized because you were wrong, John.
Oh.
So, John, that was -1 point. -1.
He was wrong?
-1. He is wrong.
I don't like it then. That's who I was thinking of.
No, he was on. He didn't come till after the Super Bowl. That's right. He came in. Elvis Dumerville came in 13.
Well, this other person wasn't on the Super Bowl team either.
No, I know, but I just remembered Elvis was 13 to I think 16 or 17.
Was it Trevor Price?
It was Trevor Price. So, Mike, you get +1. So +1 for Mike, -1.
I got one to give you, John. +1.
Right. So the next one is the Orioles. He was this is the 5-pointer. He was the Orioles MVP, team MVP in 95, 96, and 98. Yes, John. How may I help you?
Was it Brady Anderson?
Oh my God, you are so dumb. No, I'm just kidding, John. But you are wrong.
Wow. So
that is -3 points for you. You are now at -4. Mike,
can he guess again?
I'm just gonna keep racking up these negative points.
Okay. Led the Orioles in home runs. This is a 4-pointer. In 1995, 1997, and 1998.
I mean, I think I know who it is, but I don't want to get negative.
I'm gonna lose this game, so I got nothing to lose.
I want to get -15 or whatever.
All right, John. Do you have a guess?
Well, I do, but then I just remembered he wasn't on the team in 95.
Not Justin Upton, John. It's not Justin.
Yeah, no. I was thinking Albert Bell, but Albert Bell wasn't on the team in 95.
All right,
he was
stop
on the
name
Indians
dropping.
team.
You're going to be punished.
I'm going to guess.
Yes, Mike,
just because, for the sake of, because potentially we could go negative. Rafael Palmeiro.
You got it.
All right.
Well done.
Beautiful.
Okay. So it is now, what do you have now? -8?
And I have 5.
And you have 5. No, I'm sorry, -7. You have -7. You have 5. Last double points bonus round. Round 3.
Is it also double negative points?
It is double
Yes.
negative points. Yes.
Okay.
I can't win unless I get the first one right, I think.
In math class, I was taught when two negatives come together, it can be a positive.
But in science, I was taught two negatives shoot each other the opposite direction.
Oh my! All right.
How about that one, Mike?
You got a lot going on over there.
All right. Are you guys? Yeah, you're telling me, Mike. Goodness. All right. So this feller was the.
Is this a Ravens or an Orioles thing?
This is a Major League Baseball question. In general. Now we're going national. Okay. So in this guy was the Rookie of the Year in 1991 for 5 points.
Was it Barry Larkin? Oh, sorry.
No, it was not Barry Larkin. So that is -5. Oh, I'm sorry, -10. So you are now -17. You're doing great, John.
Yep.
Mike, any guesses?
No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait this one out a little bit.
Okay. He is a 4-time All-Star. And let me just double check. 4-time All-Star. And did not win a one-time Gold Glove winner for the Minnesota Twins.
This is a stumper, Jason.
So keep going. I want to wait that one. I want to wait this one now. I need some more clues.
He won the World Series with the Twins in 1991.
That's a clue. We already knew that.
Oh, did I tell you that?
No, you said he won the NL. You said he won the NL Rookie of the Year.
AL.
Oh, that's why I guess that. I thought you said NL. That's why I guess
I didn't even make
Larkin.
fun of you for guessing a National League player. Oh crap! I missed my window.
Well, I thought you said National League. I'm sorry.
So, not necessarily in this order to throw you guys off for this 3-point, but he not only played for the Twins, he also played for the Royals and Yankees. Yes, Michael? This is great. Yes, Mike.
Chuck Knobloch?
You got it. Well
all right.
Oh, see, I would have guessed Chuck Knobloch if I had thought it was the American League.
And a bonus question, just for S&Gs. That's shits and giggles for you, like adults.
For you uncensored people.
To win it all for the evening. And John, put your hands up or put ready hands. No computer. Okay. To win it all for the championship, who was the Rookie of the Year in 1992 in the National League? For all the marbles. Even though Mike already won.
National League.
Yes, and it's not Barry Larkin, John.
Meaning the pitcher hits. The National League. In 92.
Are we gonna get a team? Or are we just gotta get it like
you need clues?
Cold turkey.
No,
the Milwaukee Brewers.
In 1992.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Vaughn?
No. Good guess, though, Mike.
Greg Vaughn was Padres.
You know, he played for a bunch.
He played for the Brewers.
Yeah, he did. Let's see. No, Jeff Bagwell won it in 91. It's not.
Just so you guys know.
For the Brewers.
He didn't play for the Brewers, no.
Yeah, just so you guys know, he did bat his rookie year. You made me look this up. I didn't. 290 was his batting average. And he did other things. 54 stolen bases.
Brewers.
1992.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 3 years old.
I'm trying to think of old brewers, but then I can only think of people I know who are old and make beer.
Yeah.
All right, I need a position or something. I need something.
Second baseman.
Wow. Big second baseman rookie of the year going on here. Brewers second baseman. 92.
That was a long time ago.
Did he play for anybody else, Jay?
Houston Astros for one season. He didn't play long, guys.
Yeah, that doesn't. If he was a second baseman, that means he probably sat the bench in Houston. He probably didn't play because Biggio and Bagwell held that right side of the infield forever.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna speed this up here.
Yeah.
Rhymes with Matt Mustache.
Matt Mustache. What?
Pat Listache?
There you go. Well done, Mike.
Yeah, I would have never. Yeah, I would never have guessed that.
Hey, your knowledge of sports supersedes from long before you were born. So don't use that as an excuse, Jonathan.
Yeah,
well. I was only 2 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Goodness.
Who is this Johnny Untias? Who is that fella?
Untias? I don't know.
All right.
Idea.
Sweet.
That was fun. I like that.
I like that game, Jason.
I like that found the game where I didn't have to compete against Jason. I could easily beat John. That was great.
Yeah. Well, yes, you should do it. You should do it like Name That Tune, where you're like, I could do it in one question, or I could do it in 3 questions.
Yeah, man. And
I would have still lost.
DJ Chunky J.
So are we gonna do blast? Are we gonna do blast from the past?
We can do blast from the past if you guys want.
I don't even want to talk about the Caps
all the time.
I watched that Caps game.
What'd you say, Mike?
All trivia all the time. Network. Dead bods, crab cakes, and sports.
I was worried that it's too much trivia there for all our folks out there. I mean, we could just use that game show as one. We can do blast from the past another time. We don't have to do it again.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, I'm down with that. That was fun. We could talk Caps for a minute though. Yeah. I'm concerned, high level of concern, after they didn't score a goal for like 5 straight periods. They showed some signs of life in the second and third period tonight for a little while. But I think I was talking to John prior to the show starting. I was like, man, I think 90%, if you go up 3-1, your chance is 90% of winning the series. It's like 320 and 32 in like the history of the NHL. So not a good sign for the old Capitals right now.
Yeah. I mean, scary, man. Oh, Lord. So what, 5-2 tonight? Oh, Lord. Yeah, I mean, I was going to comment on the last game specifically, too, even before this one. And it's like, Mike, do you think that, like, they got up for that game, so they were so high for that second game that it was almost, I don't want to say it was like their Stanley Cup, but it was like a must win that they convinced themselves that the last couple games have just been like run out of gas?
I don't. I just think it's a style issue. I think the Hurricanes just play so fast, and like you see Ovi trying to keep up, and like he's not even playing as much as he usually does on the ice because he can't keep up with the pace of play. They have to get the power play to get him out there a lot of time, but it's just a style that's hard to play. And like I said, I actually mentioned this previously, they have to be so crisp and so quick with their decision making and their passing. And if they're not, Carolina's all over them, and offensively and in the defensive third, like and then they're on them and they're going. And so it's like nonstop. It's a hard style to play against, and they have to be really crisp to be able to have any scoring opportunities. And that volume stuff that they do where they're just throwing stuff at the net has paid off. One tonight, the guy just kind of threw one at the net. It bopped up in the air. It bounced off to the side, and they crashed the goal. And the goaltender didn't cover it up, and boom, there's a goal. And I watched some of the other series that are going on, and I'm seeing a lot of those kind of goals where it's just a lot of deflections in front of the net. And sometimes you just got to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, it is one of those things. It's the more opportunities you have, the higher the odds that someone's going to go in your favor. And I mean, they've really taken that to an art form. Now, I don't know if it's I haven't watched enough Hurricane hockey this year to know if this is Stanley Cup worthy, strategy, or if they'll hold up in it. But I mean, I know it's not working out for us, John. Not so far as Cap fans.
Not at all. I watched the third period today and then turned it off after an empty net goal. But there was just lack of hustle, lack of of situational awareness on the ice, and like on the power play, they had the Hurricane had a 3-on-1 break where there was only one. I mean, obviously 3-on-1 means there's one guy back with the goalie, but the other guys were just kind of like standing at the red line, watching and seeing what was happening. They weren't hustling back. And so, the first game, I think we talked about it last time, was the fact that the Hurricanes put 94 shots at the net, and I think 30-something hit, and then the Caps only did 30 and had 13 hit. It seemed like the same thing tonight. Just more shots on goal, more things. And Ovechkin just looks old and tired. Like he had a goal tonight on a one-timer, and in case you didn't know, one-timer is that the puck has passed you and it's moving, and you sort of hit it while it's still moving. In case you didn't know that. But he put that in the back of the net. But otherwise, they just look dead.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Mike. It's not a good sign going down 3-1. I mean, hockey's tough. Hockey is it's also very exciting. So no, I don't have a lot of hope for them. I mean, maybe they can get back in it, make it an interesting series, but I'm not very optimistic. I don't know about you, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, the adjustment would be obviously they need to find a way to keep the puck in the offensive zone longer. They need to use the physicality that they have. They're the bigger team. They have to find a way to keep the puck in the offensive zone and bang on those guys, forecheck, and just not allow them to break out and run them ragged. John, I think you said you saw a lack of hustle. I think they're just tired. I think they're wearing them out slowly but surely because they were hustling in the second period when I was watching the game. And I think maybe they just were worn out. They have to find a way to keep the puck in the offensive zone. And they were talking about that a little bit in the intermission. So we'll see if they're able to make a couple of adjustments. I believe the format, they're back in Washington for Game 5. Is that correct? So it's a 1-1-1 here on the way out. So right. 2 of the last 3 games remaining are still in Washington, but that means they have to steal 1 on the road, and they've got to win 3 in a row, which is a high mountain to climb.
Well, I think it's one of those things where it's like you got to win the next game. So once you win the next game, then you got to win the next game. And then everything's even and anything can happen. It always goes back, and it will be forever in sports when the Red Sox came back from 3-0 to the Yankees. Now, again, different sport, but all sports are the same as far as momentum and taking it one game at a time and then seeing what happens. So we'll see. I mean, I wish nothing but the best for the Caps, but again, not very optimistic. So I mean, that's all I got tonight, boys. You guys have anything else you want to discuss?
Not anything else. I'm ready to wrap this puppy up.
All right, Michael.
No, I'm excited for the schedule release. I mean, I know they've made a big – what do you guys think, real quick, before we wrap? What do you think about the big deal they make of the schedule release? The NFL is so good at its branding and making an item out of something that is just literally printing something on paper and like sending it out. Now it's a show about it, and then there's radio broadcasts about it live, and there's all this leaking of information the day before, which is almost as more exciting than the actual like show, because like you got this little tidbit of information of which games are going to be played overseas, and then which games are going to be played at prime time, and then what your schedule looks like. So, Jason, you first. What do you think of all that?
I think the NFL can own a day whenever they want, or multiple days. And to me, it's exciting and gross all in the same thing for me. It's like you're really gonna take a 2-hour TV or whatever it is, or an hour-long TV session and make a TV show out of the freaking schedule. But they do it. I mean, and people watch it, so they keep doing it. I mean, to me, I'm just like, just let me know what's happened. I don't need you to break down, tell. What is actually bad about it is that they break down the schedule and say whether it's a winner. The teams aren't even decided yet. Guys haven't made the roster. Some teams don't have quarterbacks. So to me, that's a lot. But the fact that the NFL can take any day and make it into a huge party, that's what they do. John.
Yeah, and I just think, and again, like, the baseball season, I mean, every other season is so long. Basketball season's 82 games, hockey season's 82 games, baseball season's 162. When you only got 17 games and you don't play every team, it gives it a lot more stuff to talk about, whereas in 162 games, we're not going to be like, oh, they're playing the Yankees here, 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 and here. They're going to be playing here, 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 here. Whereas you're only playing, we play some teams once every 5 years. We play some teams once every 3 years. We play the teams in our division every year. We play the Chiefs, it seems like, every year. So, it gives it a little bit of excitement when you're only playing, a handful of teams out of the league. Plus, it sells tickets and helps people, helps with travel and things.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I can't lie. I really enjoy seeing who the Ravens play. I don't even mind when they go game by game and say, hey, I think that's going to be a win. That's going to be a loss. That's going to be a win. And I'll do it. I do it too. I look and I'm saying, look, we play Cleveland at home. If that's not a win, I'm going to jump off a cliff. And I go through the schedule and, I do the same exact thing that the experts do. And I usually am close, but you'll get one wrong. Like, who had the Raiders loss last year? Like, I don't think anybody probably would have predicted that Raiders home loss last year. So, you're never going to get it 100% right, but it definitely gives you a gauge on what the season's going to look like. They do the strength of schedule stuff. You can throw that out the window too, because every team changes every year. It's always different. So I'm always interested in it. It's not the end of the world. And then one more last Ravens note before we roll. You saw the Tyus Bowser thing, right? That $1.8 million cap of freedom that the Ravens just got a credit for the cap because of a resolution in his grievance.
Right.
So I don't think that's a huge deal, but maybe that little bit of extra, and I know Kevin talked about it on Locked On Ravens, maybe that little bit of extra money can help down the road as you are looking into maybe an injury situation later on in the offseason, or maybe potentially at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like, DeCosta always likes to have money. Like I said this last show or the show before, always likes to have money at the trade deadline just in case, And there's something else. Like, I know we were closing this up, but I should mention this. Like, am I missing something? Everyone's like Kevin, Allstriker, the rest of these guys. They keep saying that we have a lot of pass rushers. We have a lot. Like, am I missing something? Because I think Jadeveon Clowney could be very helpful. I don't see the level. I mean, do we have guys that do pass rushing, or do we have actual pass rushers that get to the quarterback? Because I don't know. I can just think of two. I mean, you help me out here.
I thought the same thing, Jason. That's kind of where I was. I'm like, we got three pass rushers. We got Van Noy, we got Green, and we got Owe. Who else is going to be doing this for us? Unless you're like including giving Hamilton the freedom to rush the passer and Matabike. I mean, I don't know if I would consider Matabike a pass. I don't know. I guess he is
an
maybe
interior pass rusher.
An interior, but edge guys. Yeah, we got three. We need to add at least one or two more. I would think,
but see, I'm not ready to give the position over to Mike Green yet, because again, there's a lot that goes into that. There's learning your system. There's getting ready. There's not being injured. There's all kinds of stuff.
Well, he's a rookie. He's a little green. You know what I mean? Because that's his name.
I really looked at your face and thought you were going to say something like super intelligent and like, really? You're going to say it? No, you didn't. You know me by now. Well, because I think Ojabo is on the cutting block potentially, and I mean, I think there's room for that man. And I think like Mike, you said when I mentioned it last time, situationally, absolutely. And I like keep all these guys fresh. Keep Van Noy fresh. He's 112. Like get these guys. I mean, in football years, yeah, for crikey's sake. I mean, I don't think you can ever have enough edge rushers, especially in the NFC or in the AFC with Burrow and Allen and Mahomes, and keep naming them.
Yeah, and we talked about, the potential for like a Von Miller. There's still some other guys out there, but the reason Clowney is such a great option is because he knows the Ravens system. I mean, he was here a couple of years ago. So what a plug and play that would be. If it works for both sides, I don't see why not add that depth piece. And we've been talking about this too, is just injuries happen. And if you're depending, let's say that Owe goes down, and he's probably the guy in his closest to his prime that we have on the edge, right? Because you have Van Noy, who's kind of on his way out, and you've got Green, who we said is a rookie, right? Are you going to depend on that? You need to have somebody else. And Tavius Robinson isn't really a pass rusher. He's an edge setter. Ojabo hasn't lived up to the hype, like you said, Jason. He could be on the cutting block. So I think they need to add at least one more guy, and Clowney makes a whole lot of sense to me too.
Yeah, and a lot cheaper than Von. Von Miller, I think, was
say,
still asking a ton of. What did I see, Jason? Did I see he was asking like 3 years, $40 million or something?
I mean, the last contract that he got from Buffalo was well over $100 million, and he never lived up to that. Like, nor was that deserved, I think. But yeah, John, that's what I was going to say, though. It's like I think Clowney fits into your cap restrictions, where I don't think Von Miller. I think there's too much moving. They have to move things around anyway, like eventually to be able to get the different deals that they currently have to get done. But I mean, no, I would take Clowney over Miller just based on flexibility and being able to do other things.
And Clowney, I think, is a good fit because, like you guys said, I think he's only going to get a handful of snaps every game, and he's going to be able to put all his energy into rushing the passer. We're not going to ask him to be playing, drop back into coverage. All we're asking him to do is freaking take the quarterback down and really nothing else. And I think that's where he's going to fit. And that's the way he fit in our defense a couple of years ago. So, if Eric DaCosta, if you're listening to this, well, the three of us are voting that we bring in Clowney. And we're not joking about that either.
I think the cricket.
I got my hand up, but I don't want negative points, Jason.
No negative points, buddy. Go ahead. Game over.
All right. Anybody else before I wrap this puppy up?
No.
I think we've heard enough crickets this evening from some of our comments and behind Jason. So that's going to do it for this episode of Dad Bods, Crab Cakes, and Sports. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Don't forget to subscribe on Red Circle, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And while you're at it, please leave us a review. It really helps us out. We're trying to spread the good word about Baltimore sports far and wide. Be sure to follow us on social media for behind-the-scenes action, bad sports takes, and memes. You can find us at dadbods_crabcakes_sports on Instagram and at dadbods crabcakes and sports on our Facebook page. Have a question or topic you'd like us to cover? Hit us up at dadbodscrabcakesandsports@gmail.com. We might just shout you out on our next episode. Until next time, guys, keep rocking those dad bods, eating those crab cakes. Never miss the game.
Arrivederci.
Hasta luego.